When I was 7, my sea captain father at sea, my mother a strobing lighthouse of missing, I stood alone in my bedroom, renaming all my toys Melissa. You and you and you. A child's narcissism, maybe, a punishment for my dolls. I didn't choose my name, but I could choose to give it away, a small triumph. But no matter.
Hi, I'm Melissa Febos. I'm a fiction writer and a nonfiction writer.
Hum of M, soft L, hiss ending open mouth. Melissa, my teacher called each morning. Here, I flinched. It was a ribbon of sound.
And the essay collection that I'm editing here is very much about sort of unsayable things and things I don't know how to say and things that I find excruciating to say aloud. The thing that underlies so much of my work is about space and creating more space and sort of asserting my belief that there's enough room for everything, that in human beings but also in work, that a piece of writing or any kind of art can be highly emotional and intellectual and cathartic and defiant and lyrical and I want to do everything. And, I tried to write a 40-page essay and it became 135 pages, and it's got psychology texts and philosophy texts and poetry, and I talk about the never-ending story and the movie Labyrinth, which is a formative text of my childhood, and I bring in self-help books and narratives from my life and pay a lot of attention to phonics and sound, and it's not something that I can plan, and I like to plan. I'm a planner. In my regular life, as a professor, as a person who lives in New York, as a person who never stops moving, there's not enough room for that to happen. There's not enough room to surprise myself in that particular way, and it only happens when I pin myself to a particular place and let uncertainty happen. Sort of the organizing idea of this essay collection is abandonment in all forms and all definitions of the word. And a lot of the essays are about sort of the gray areas of my own experience. And that translates into my sexual identity, my family experience, my racial identity, and my experiences in love, and how they're just not any one thing, and how desperately I want them to be one thing so that I can know what they are forever. Instead of being constantly changing.
I understood it as a desire to annihilate my own innocence. I had conjured the child in me at her most hurting age, and I showed her something shocking, incomprehensible. I wanted to break that innocence so that she would.
And it's been like wading through a swamp, right? Like I can't really see it clearly, and when I look at the parts of it and the events of my life and my family, it's like looking at every memory that I've ever had, and impossible to have objectivity. And so I took the essay, which is 30 pages long, and I cut up every single paragraph of it so that I could see what all of its vital organs are and which ones were not vital.
Was softer than I had ever seen, as if she'd just been born. Black hair wet against her forehead, she smiled and touched my face with her hot hand.
At least if I stopped believing in my own work, what happened still happened. And so it's ironic in some ways that people often say, oh, you write about incredibly personal things, or you say things out loud that I can't imagine saying out loud, you're so self-reflective, when actually it's the opposite. I'm just working against the impulse in me that doesn't want to look at anything that scares me. And so the only way I can make myself do that is to build my entire life around it. So I basically have.
No!